Good morning. It's weird. They have this new Zoom update where I can't see my camera, so I don't know if I'm like here or not here or if it's on. So, Sarah Weaver, how are you today? Sally Ann, Serena, Steve. All right, let's get cooking. So, one thing I want to press upon you, and I cannot press upon enough, is what's the difference between a computer program that works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and doesn't sleep, and a human completing a task? Does anybody know? Namita, I said this yesterday, so you can't answer. Um, Anybody?
Emotions.
Emotions, bingo. So look, it's called initiative, right? Human beings can take initiatives. We can read people's body language, tonality, physiology, a variety of other factors. So why is it so important? Because look, machine learning and you look at ChatGPT agent and these different things, there has never been such a time in our lives where something could replace what we do. So, understanding our value proposition, the way we communicate different parts of our value proposition, our pre-qualifying, creating our ChatGPT projects, right? Knowing how to talk to people is the most important part. So, if you eliminate that, then what's the difference between ChatGPT researching a property? Right now, it does not work 100% well. I've done my own tests, but let me tell you, think about this conceptually. Remember we showed you in the beginning how you can create like a chat GBT project based on a Med C and how much information it gives you? It's going to be able to do the same thing on search, but also search all different websites, right? So it's something that you all really need to think about. And if you're not role playing 4 to 5 times a week, you're going to lose money. Like, period, end of story. If your transactions aren't buttoned up and you don't want to be organized and you want to block your time and have a schedule and have written communication plans, you're going to lose money. I'm saying this because we have the tools, the systems, and the learnings not to lose money, but you have to invest the time into doing it. And look, the other part is like kind of like a steam cooker, it lets the pressure out. We all need to let the pressure off of ourselves, meaning the idea that you're going to learn this in 3 or 6 months and master an entire transaction is absolutely insane. Let me tell you why. There's like 130 different things in a buyer transaction. That would assume on average you learn close to one new thing a day. Do you think you could master one part of this entire transaction a day? I know I couldn't. I can speak for myself. So, what we need to do is commit to ourselves today and our future selves, right? And take the time to learn one piece at a time, however long it takes, master it, and then go to the next one. Because whether it takes you a year or 2 years, you're still doing the work that no one else is doing. Does that make sense? I don't want to give you guys just more information. I want to give you guys strategy and implementation. All right, so let's go to our topic for today. Post-consultation action steps. The real sale starts after somebody hires you. This is my fundamental belief in life, right? A lot of us believe that once we won the pitch, like we got the sale, or when we got the buyer, we have the sale, right? Bless you. Or when the buyer goes, no, your sale essentially is every single thing you do after they hire you. And when you fundamentally make that shift, you will realize how important all of these little details are and why you need to invest the time in doing them. Does that make sense, everybody? All right, so let's go through a roadmap. Creating the gap. The gap is identifying somebody's needs and closing it. The framework, a buyer questionnaire, collection, off-market properties, financial and lifestyle planning, home buying experience, and what we want you to do next. So let's go to creating the gap, right? Building a world the client wants to enter. Now, I would say the greatest gap I've ever seen anyone create in my life is not me. It will go to my dear friend and client, Kate Bauer. Last year, when we were doing Compass Free Coaching Month, She was the agent and I was the buyer. And I used my real example of like where I want to move and what I want, which she knows really well because we're also really good friends. And so subsequently, she started asking me these questions, right? Because I want like my dream in life is to have a backyard that literally feels like I'm on a vacation resort and that I never have to leave, right? That I want these tall, manicured trees with neighbors not around me. So I can invite you all to my house once a year for like a pool party and have events and have a tent there and play loud music and all that different stuff. So during the needs analysis, she starts asking me a question and she starts mirroring back and echoing back to me what I wanted. She says, Shrug, let me ask you a question. So you want to, excuse me, you want a house with a backyard that has large trees and no neighbors. And she started listing all these little nuanced things that I wanted. And she said to me, she goes, Oh, can you search based on that criteria? Online? And I'm like, no. Can you find that on Zillow? No. Can you find it on realtor.com? And all of a sudden in my mind, I, this wasn't planned. It's not like I knew she was doing this. Whatever she was selling, I wanted to buy because she created that gap in my mind that said, wait a second, I cannot find this on my own. It's not a standard website criteria, right? So people want different kinds of things, right? Some people want a certain experience. Some people want insights in the market. Some people want a plan of action, right? That's the gap, right? So we need to create the gap and fill the gap. So remember the magic question we have, the script, right? What do you envision an agent doing for you that you feel you can't do on your own? That creates the gap and your presentation can fill the gap. So subconsciously for somebody, it says, okay, this is what I don't have. This is what I want. And now if your presentation fulfills those needs, wants, and desires, who do they want to hire? You, right? But this is a learned skill that's not mutually exclusive to anybody. But this is why it's so important, like we were referencing before, to know all of your different tools, like a Swiss Army knife. Does that make sense, everybody? If there's one thing you walk away with today, it's this, right? So let's talk about your post-consultation action steps. Now, this is quantifiable, right? It's clear what we're going to do. It's concise. It's quantifiable, right? Your in-depth functional flow analysis. We have an amazing buyer questionnaire. Like I love our buyer questionnaire, right? And so the first question that someone's going to ask me is, and who wants to ask a question? If you have a 9-page buyer questionnaire, do you think your clients are going to complain about answering it? Yes or no? We have one no. Answer in the chat, yes. How many yeses and nos? I'm curious. Mine didn't. Yes. 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 All right, Sally Ann, unmute yourself.
Yes.
So if you shared this questionnaire with me and you be the agent, I'll be the buyer, right? You know, this is a lot of information. Like this is going to take a lot of time. Why would I have to fill this out? What would you say?
If it was 9 pages, well, mine is shorter, but there are sometimes when after our conversation, there are questions and things that will come up in your mind, and you start thinking, because we've talked about how you want to live in your home, what's important to you. And so what I like to do after the consultation is to have you go back and answer some of those questions, because you'll start to think about what that flow looks like in your real lifestyle. And then we can revisit that and really hone in on what you're looking for and not waste time
So I'm going to
looking
give
at
you
things that don't apply.
my feedback will be your answer's better than most,
Okay.
right? Because you kept it focused on the
Progress.
client. And I would say this and say, you know what? I'm really happy that you asked me that question, right? That's the first thing that you want to say. So the exact script is the objection is this is a lot of information. This is a lot of time. It's really long. So the script that you want to answer is you start off by not being combative, defensive, or anything else. You smile And I'd say, Sally Ann, I'm so happy you asked me that question, right? And you're going to say, there's only one reason that we want you to invest the time in filling out and sharing this information. I'm going to pause, right? And depending on your client's personality, I would ask them, what do you think? What do you think the purpose of spending so much time on something is? And let them answer. And if their answer is good, I'm going to go with their answer. If they're like very curtain to the fact, I'm going to say, I'm really glad there's only one reason. We want to prompt, actually, two reasons. We want to prompt all of the different things that most people don't think about that are really important, and also understand every single little detail, which will serve as the filter for every home that we select for you and recommend. Without doing this, we're based on bedrooms, bathrooms, lot sizes, and features. We're not thinking about our investment as an investment. We're not thinking about our functional flow. And whether it's myself or any other agent you work with, they will not have the right information to be able to get you all the things you want, ultimately to find a home that fits into your lifestyle. Is that what you'd like? And they're going to say no. Done. Right? That brings us to the next one. Curated collections of off-market properties based on your functional flow and based on your functional flow that we've discussed today, as well as the additional information that you'll provide in our questionnaire. I have to come up with a better name for this, right? Like, no one wants to answer a questionnaire, right? You got to make it a little more spicy. So I'll put some thought to that. But based on that, we're going to curate
How about
property.
criteria? Sorry.
What's that?
Chirag, I was going to say, how about criteria
So
versus
you got to think about
questionnaire?
You got to think about it like this. Marketing is all about packaging, positioning, and promoting, right? So we're talking about packaging and positioning things like, they say put a lipstick on a pig. Like, that's what we need to do. We need to put lipstick on the pig and put it into like a Gucci dress so it looks beautiful. And so, I know, weird example. It's just what came to mind, Cherish. So if you look at the curated collection off-market properties, we're going to take all the information from that and we're going to start doing a search. Financial and lifestyle planning, right? We do have an entire system and questionnaire that we've shared previously that goes through all of these financial and lifestyle plannings, right? So you're going to say based like the reason, so someone's going to say, Chirag, this feels like homework, or this is a lot of information. And you're going to say, look, I would think any person not asking you this information is irresponsible. And they're going to say, I love using that word because the word irresponsible goes with kids. It's a completely irresponsible. And I would just plot them with, what do you mean irresponsible? How can you support, advocate, I don't use the word advocate, advise, consult somebody on the largest financial transaction of their life without really going through this kind of thorough analysis? It's like a doctor going through doing surgery and not testing your blood and a variety of other tests and just going to do the surgery. Like, you'd never want a doctor to do that. No, you'd want them to comprehensively understand your entire body and how it's functioning today before they recommend or do anything. And this is the same thing, right? Like we take a very surgical approach to this. We want to understand like how you live inside of a house, outside of a house, what your financial goals are, how long you see yourself there, and then helping you understand if it's helpful for you, all of the numbers that actually go in to purchasing and owning a home, which a lot of times we found from clients in the past don't always think about. Now, what you have to decide today is this: what type of broker do you want to be? People have gone through years of successful real estate transactions, never doing any of this stuff. What I'm suggesting is there is a future world that we're currently living in today where these are the kinds of agents that exist. Because if not, they could go on ChatGPT and somebody's just going to make, somebody like me could make a prompt. Like, imagine if I started a program that says how to buy a home without an agent through ChatGPT. And I gave all the prompts that reverse engineered their lifestyle thing, prompts to search, ways to negotiate. I built my own AI chatbot that was trained on escrow, non-escrow, states and how they work and how to write an offer and how to position the offer. Like, I could literally take everything that I've given you and reverse engineer it into ChatGPT and a custom GPT and a process into an interactive voice dictated thing where people could just do 90% of this on their own. That's scary, right? Am I going to do something like that? Never in my life. But what I'm saying is it is possible. So you need to plan, right? Like strategic planning is all about planning for the worst case scenario as well. And then ultimately that drives a curated home buying experience, which takes all the information that they provided, where you curate the experience based on their needs, wants, goals, desires, unique situation, their functional flow, their financial and lifestyle planning. So if you think about it, like what is in here? Future plans, home preferences, lifestyle preferences, community preferences, involve the team, ownership, lifestyle amenities, functional flow community, family and social, home experiences, deal breaking. Everything is about you. You know what? I have to take a pause right here. All right, someone go ahead and ask me, why am I taking a picture of my own slide? Go for it. Anyone have an idea? This is actually gonna be really cool.
You just created it, so you're trying to internalize it yourself?
Nope. I'm actually going to take this, and this will be a freaking awesome slide in your buyer consultation.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
I took
Like,
a picture too.
yeah. Well, we give you the slides, so you'll get a PDF with all the slides in it, but I'm going to add this to our list of things to put in your buyer consultation. Because when we say everything's about you, right? And you pulled up this slide, you're going to say that we want to invest the time to understand these 1, 2, 3, 4, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 12 different drivers to purchasing a home for any buyer. So the headline should be the 12 drivers to purchase a home for any buyer, right? And then these are the different things, right? And then the next page after can go into curated search and collections, because it talks about how you take all this information and then filter it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like really excited about this. This is the kind of thing that gets my juices flowing. Like, this is great. Because here's the thing. I believe if you presented this slide right, that they should hire you on the spot. Because let me ask you, who else is doing this with their clients? Nobody, right? So curated collections. You are collecting a large sum of money for the service that you provide. You have to pick your clients the properties. If not, they're going to do it on their own and you're going to have a problem. And so the way that you want to talk about this and the script that you use is, I would say, Mr. and Mrs. Homebuyer, we will personally curate our search and the properties we hand select based on those 12 drivers that we shared. We always encourage people to look on their own as well, because it's human nature. And if you find anything, as much information as we have, you've lived many years of your life with many micro experiences. Something you might see in a home might bring you back to your childhood that you never thought of, and that might just become a home that you're interested in. So share them with us, and we'll make sure to put them through we'll make sure to filter them through those 12 different data points that you shared with us. Oh, wow. Okay, that makes sense, right? So you only see homes that fit your goals. It's personalized insights based on your goals. It has off-market properties, and it's a single place to collaborator discussions in one place. And it gives you real-time market access, right? So if you think about it, these are the real benefits of Compass Collections. You know, it's really funny as we've been sitting here redoing all these marketing center things. I'm like looking at some of the other things that we have as I rewrote a bunch of this other stuff, and this stuff's like actually much better. Financial and lifestyle planning, right? Make decisions based on facts, not feelings. Mortgage payments, ongoing home ownership expenses, lifestyle and additional expenses, reserves and emergency funds, financial summary and curated analysis. Again, some people do this, some people won't. We talked about it in a previous session. Look, if you have a client that's like spreadsheet driven, some people don't need this, right? But again, it's a tool in your tool belt, ideal for first-time home buyers. And even move-up buyers, because if you ask me how many people actually know how much it costs to run their house, most people have no idea. And if it did, every one of you would get a spreadsheet with every utility bill, every resource, and everything in there, organized in a nice way. So everything the buyer feels created should be for them, right? You can take all this information and dump it into ChatGPT. And then you can ask it, like, how would I interact? What would be valuable? What experiences would highlight some of these things? So if you're looking at this, we're getting a lot of data that creates a filter, and then we have to filter everything through what they want. So you'll have a Med C, you'll have a buyer questionnaire, and in some cases, you'll have a financial and lifestyle analysis as well. All right, so now I'm going to open this up to questions, right? So I want you guys to take the deck, review the framework, right? Practice going through the 3 steps, and have a plan of action once the buyer signs the agreement. Okay, who has questions?
So, yeah, me.
Okay, shoot.
So, how would a buyer know that this is amazing if they haven't already talked to another agent and you're the first agent or the only agent they've talked to? So how will they get to know that what we are sharing with them is so amazing?
Hold on. Say that again.
So here I have, and this is true. So I have a first-time buyer coming up, and he's very into analysis, data, etc. He was referred to me by his mother. So now, how would he know that the information I'm giving him, of course, he's got the testimonial, that is nobody else does this kind of stuff, and it's so curated that this experience is going to be so
It's
awesome for him.
because this is that what you're saying is a feeling, right? Feelings are created through interactions and engagements and through a structured sales process. This is a structured sales process. If he does not come to that conclusion on his own, one of a few different things happen. Number one, we might have not done this correctly and we talk too much and we're telling instead of asking and then following with their answers. Number two, what he wants is just completely unrealistic. And number three, you did everything that you needed to do and like he just doesn't get it, or like it's not the type of agent that he's looking for. You can't tell somebody that this is curated and different and everything else, right? You could turn around to say to somebody, it says, we have a very unique curated home buying process. We're going to walk you through the details of it today. And at the end, like one of a couple things will happen. Like you'll decide I'm a good fit for you and we can work together. I'll decide that you're a good fit for me and we can both work together. Or I may decide that it's not a good fit, or you may decide it's not a good fit. And in that case, we won't work together, and any one of those is 100% okay. You can't tell people this. It's a good question because it's exactly what you don't want to do. Lead with
I think.
confidence and curiosity. Sally
Yeah.
Ann.
So along those lines, so I love this. I've been in the coaching for a bit, and this may be in the archive somewhere. But we can sit there and have the conversation. We know that this would be beneficial to them. But going back to that, I have buyers and they still go to Zillow or wherever, and I keep bringing them back to the collection, or I
But let them
respond
go
to
to
the
Zillow.
collection.
It doesn't matter.
But it's frustrating because we're trying to get them, we've curated this information. It's like, how do we
Okay, great. So you're
keep them?
going,
How do
I'm
we
going to
keep them?
Zillow. I'm going to Zillow. First of all, you cannot stop somebody for searching on properties on their own because they're never going to believe that they actually saw everything. That's human nature. The second part is if I keep going on Zillow, what do you say to me?
I hate Zillow. No, I'm kidding. What do I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answer at the moment.
Okay, so I could say, hey, Sally Ann, you have taken the time to share a lot of information so that we can curate your properties. What specifically are you finding on Zillow that you feel might be missing in our search that we're doing together?
Yeah.
You see how I use the word our search we're doing together and what specifically is missing, and that'll pinpoint an actual answer.
Yeah, I guess the thing is we're trying to keep them on our collection and streamline that and provide that service. It's
But that's who they
frustrating.
are. You can't like, but there's a saying that somebody told me in life, people will show you who they are, believe them. Yes, Zillow is cracked for buyers. Exactly. All right, Sarah, your question, and then I have to kick it over to Cherish. It is her time, so please make her the co-host, Christine.
No worries. So I feel like I've had amazing takeaways of all my time coaching with you. My weakness is on putting the documents together. Where do you recommend a starting point where you've got all these amazing slides that if I wanted to do a great
You don't have to
buyers?
do anything. I'm putting them all together for you, and you're really good at listening, following directions, and following through, so you don't have to worry.
Okay. Yay.
Does that
Thank
make
you.
your life easier?
Much, much easier. Thank you.
Yep. I can say this to you honestly. I have not been sleeping a lot, but I have had more energy over the last week than I've had literally in years. And like someone said to me the other day, they go, "This is the most excited I know you've seen me since like we started this business, right? Like what we're building." I always said that when I got into real estate and I got into this space, that I wanted to do something that I would be remembered in this industry beyond my life. What that was, I don't know, but we just built it, right? Like the last 10% of filling out these finishing these timelines is equivalent to like the first 90%, because I can show to you there's six different like transaction timelines, right? So you have escrow states, you have attorney states where the realtors write the contracts, and you have attorney states that the realtors use deal sheets and don't write the contract. Each one of them has 115 to 180 different tasks that all need task descriptions, links to resources. You have to check all the links. You have to build them into Compass. You have to figure out how to integrate the things in a marketing center. They don't have a workaround where I can just publish these to your account. Like I can share you on a template, but if you go and change the template and don't make a copy of it, you're going to screw the template up for everyone else that has it, right? So it is this monstrosity of stuff, but it is literally the most interesting thing that's ever been built in this industry because nothing like this exists. You can have technology, but there's no way to use the technology. Then you have the ways to use the technology, but could miss like scripts, emails, templates, workflows, questionnaires. So we've organized all of this stuff into one place. And there'll be a special surprise in there for all of you that will be something that blows your mind. Like literally, I'm telling you, it's so unbelievable that I don't even find it believable. And it's that good. And we literally have it and we're testing it. So look, this has taken way longer than I thought, full transparency, and we still need more time. And all of you signed up and we were like, yeah, this is great. And Compass was like, yeah, this is great. We can do this. And then when they looked at what we had, they've been trying to figure out how to do it. They've been like, I've literally found the person at Compass that that runs all the tech for Compass One, and the actual product manager for Marketing Center. I've been working with them directly. So whatever workarounds we created, this technology was not built for someone like me to do something like this for all of you. And that's part of the challenge, right? So look, I just want to say thank you for your patience. We are going to send out in our end of the week recap a hard like launch date with a calendar and everything else. So you can you can do it. I'm going to send our designer these updates to these slides to get into our buyer consultation. So like the good news is our marketing center assets, now that we understand like how publishing works, the last thing we have to do is figure out how to put like a red thing or something on there somewhere that says make a copy, because there's no way to give this to like 6, 7, 800 plus people without one person not listening, following directions, and ruining the template for everybody. And like the template has like, you know how you go into like, whether it's like a postcard or something like that, there's all this lorem ipsum diem, like you're like, what the hell do I put in this box? Well, I took the time to write exactly what should go into each box, right? Like, so it's really like plug and play, and like you'll be able to do it, and you can use your chat GPT for most of it. Like one of the things that we're exploring is like, I didn't know this till recently. I don't know how many of you use this. Compass AI actually works inside of Marketing Center. So we're seeing if we can figure out a way to build prompts based on what we use to get like good copy. But I don't really know, because if it doesn't know anything about your listing, it could spit out a bunch of generic stuff. So like just stay tuned. what we're working on, we want it to work. We don't want to send something out. You have to realize we have to test like 800 different like links and things like this so it all works correctly because there's 6 different checklists. So like that is essentially how the sausage is being made. And I can't be more thankful for your support, your patience. And like, look, what we built is a culmination of what we've been doing for years together, right? This is 5 years of materials and things that we even had to be able to put this together, right? So I can't promise any kind of dates at this time because every time they give me a date and I finish the work that they want, I'm like, all right, can you help me publish this? Like, wait, well, now we need to. So the designs are done, right? Like, I'm going to add these designs. I could literally open up a document and show you the designs today. Like, we just need to finalize table of contents. And outside of that, they should be ready to go. And that will be our first release. And then all of these documents will be integrated into your Compass One timelines as well. All right, Charis, I've stolen 4 minutes of your time. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Chirag.
And
Alrighty.
everybody do not leave. Like, hear me when I say this, do not leave. Like, I'm literally watching you. We had a whole conversation on how you have to know how to talk to people. So if you're leaving, one, maybe you didn't plan for this, so plan for it next week. If you're leaving like I have something better to do, it's the wrong mindset. I promise you. She is a ninja at doing this. And the role play format I use now going forward is her format. So it's really good. So that's it for me today. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Chirag.